All right, welcome to another episode of I'll Call My Guy. We finally have Patrick Langevin on. I know we've been trying to get you on since, when was it?
Yeah,
June, and then we rescheduled, and we were both like, forget it, let's just do it in the fall. So it worked out. So, Patrick, what is your exact title at the Bushnell?
Sure. So I am Vice President of Programming at the Bushnell and Co-Executive Director of the Warner Theatre out in Torrington, Connecticut.
Okay. All right. Oh, I didn't know the Warner's connected to the Bushnell, or are they separate?
Yeah. So a little over 2 years ago, the Bushnell signed a management contract with the Warner. So we manage the Warner
So it's
Theatre.
a management, it's a contractual relationship, not an ownership relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the Warner, for those who don't know, is in Torrington.
Yep.
And it's in the main street. We actually have an office in Torrington, kind of on Main and
didn't know
Pearl.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we don't really.
yeah.
We're starting to staff it once in a while when we have cases up there. Fun fact: most beautiful court in the state of Connecticut's in Torrington.
Oh,
You go
really?
up, you would not believe it, but if you go up Pearl, and then you like loop around, it's called Field Street.
Okay.
The place is like an art museum.
I'll have to go check it out.
Stunning.
Yeah, there's some beautiful architecture.
Beautiful
in Torrington.
architecture, yeah. So, and there's a fantastic, not to go, I'm an ADHDer, so you're going to go some rabbit holes here.
Yeah,
but,
same. So we're going to go
all over the place.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic restaurant in Torrington called Geppetto.
I was just there last night. We had Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, at the Warner last night, and Mana, who is the new executive director for Connecticut Forum. We partnered with Connecticut Forum for Elizabeth Gilbert, so we had dinner before the show. And I
with
took
Elizabeth
her,
Gilbert?
No, with Mana, who's the executive director.
Fantastic.
So it was like, I'm taking you to Geppetto. It's a great restaurant.
Incredible.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's Italian, not Italian American.
Correct.
Right.
And funny, talk about, side story. So 2 years ago, when I first started working at the Warner, and a board member had mentioned, you have to check out this restaurant, Geppetto. And so I went there just to walk in and check out the space. I was like, this place looks so familiar. And the board member says, well, they actually own a restaurant in Brooklyn. And I was like, Convivium Osteria, which was 2 blocks from my apartment in Park Slope in Brooklyn. It was sort of like the fancy restaurant in my 20s of like,
right, you're like, all right, I'm going to go there.
I'm going to splurge and go. And the fact that they have this restaurant, which is some of the similar dishes from their New York restaurant.
Is it still in Brooklyn?
Yeah, they still have their Brooklyn restaurant too.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
how did they settle on Torrington, do we know?
So during COVID, they
Litchfield,
moved up here, bought a property, and then it's so funny because I remember when I was in my 20s and their kids running around the restaurant, and now her son is the chef at Geppetto, which is like, I feel so old.
Yeah. And the food is, folks should run to that place. It's so good. Even I have Italian clients that are off the boat Italians, and they're like, this is like being in Rome.
It's really good.
Really good. Yeah. All right, so you do management there, so you run that. And that's a beautiful theater as well. Get good stuff there.
94-year-old theater.
94.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Wow. One of the few original Warner Brother movie houses that is still running as a theater.
So the Warner is from is the same Warner Brothers?
Yes.
Same. Wow.
Yeah. So Warner Brothers had built a bunch of movie houses across the country. I think there was 30 plus, and there's really only like three facilities that still run as theaters.
Oh my gosh! Is that part of their way to like get movies to the public?
Yes.
They got into that business as well.
Yeah.
Who owns it now? Do you know?
I don't know. Warner Brothers? Yeah.
Still? You think they still run it?
No, I don't know. I'm sure it's like some larger conglomeration.
No, right. But I can't believe that they would still have that in their portfolio. You'd think that they'd be like, we're done with that.
Yeah. Oh, not. And I don't think they own any of the theaters.
Oh, right. So, I mean, is it like a not-for-profit?
It's a nonprofit.
Oh, so nobody owns it. Yeah. So then it's just nobody owns it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's managed by their board.
I see. Right. So you do that in there. So you took over the programming at the Bushnell about 3 years ago?
Yeah, 3.5.
Right. And I know because the program has gotten so fucking
my God.
good.
Thank you so much for saying
And as you know, like from my son.
Oh my God.
Right. Who's been to 110 shows.
Which is crazy.
And I know.
The fact that he's like catching up with me. I'm at like 642 now.
What, you're 642?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I remember when I talked to you, and because you used to be, and I got to get into this, you were a Tony voter.
Yeah, I'm a Tony voter.
Still
again.
now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
you're
16 years
you're
of being
642.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So he's going to be 11, and he's at 110.
Wow, that is crazy.
And we are season ticket holders through my mom at the Bushnell with 4 tickets.
Great.
And then we have 3 tickets at the Goodspeed. So we're Goodspeed.
Yeah, love Goodspeed.
And now we just had, I'm not good with names.
I need to go see a Chorus Line.
Yeah, we're going in a couple weeks.
So good.
Yeah, they put on insane shows.
Right.
there.
And Rob Ruggiero from TheaterWorks directed.
Oh,
Chorus
really?
Line. Yeah, he's an incredible director.
We saw a show there. Rex and I still talk about it. It was 42nd Street, classic one with this guy named, you probably know him, Max Van Essen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He did that. He did a song that, like, still to this day, like, it was incredible. Like, the 42nd Street song.
Yes.
The guy, he's like, they put on such, they get such good talent. Like the guy we saw in Disciple, or the 12, the one about the Jesus disciples, 12.
Oh, yes.
Or 13, 12.
Yeah.
He was Lafayette in the second cast of Ed Hamilton.
Oh,
these are like top tier actors that are like, hey, I'm tired of the city. Let's go to Connecticut and chill out for a few weeks.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, and like have fun. So, all right. So and then we go there, and then we just had, what was the woman from Harvard Stage?
Cynthia Ryder.
Yeah, I listened to some of that. Yeah, it was great. I love Cynthia.
So now I promised her season tickets there too. So we're huge fans of the art. But every year we go to the, when you guys unveil it in March.
Yeah.
It's March, right?
Yeah.
And so we go every year excited to see. And I always say to Rex, I say, oh my God, Patrick is because he's so connected in there, he gets the best shows.
Oh, thank you.
Really, like your programming has... the Bushnell is very lucky to have you. You have gotten some really fantastic shows, and the big ones too, like the Hamiltons and the Suffs, and really, really good job, man. Like you're really getting good stuff there, and it's, as like the arts is, without the arts we're just monkeys, right? I mean we're like, right? I mean that's what separates us from the apes.
Yeah, right.
is the arts. So what did you do right before you worked with the Bushnell as their programmer?
Sure. So I did labor negotiations for set lighting, costume, sound, and projection designers for Broadway, off-Broadway, film, and television. So I worked for a labor union, but I negotiated the contracts on behalf of designers.
Wow. So all right. So I think we have to start way back. So where were you born?
So I grew up in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up in Farmington.
Oh, you're a Farmington guy.
Yeah,
I've been in Farmington for like 27 years. We just moved to Unionville.
Oh, so I grew up in Unionville.
What?
So I was born in Hartford, but grew up in Unionville off of West Avon Road.
That's where we live.
Oh,
we live across from that church off of Williamsburg.
Yeah, of course. So I was
Morgan
on
Lane.
Cedar Lane.
Oh, right before us.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So after Cedar, the next right is Williamsburg. You take a right, and then you go down and be on Morgan Lane.
Yeah. So it was like halfway down Cedar Lane.
Oh my gosh!
Great neighborhood, and I love Farmington. So I feel like.
And did you go to like Union and?
Yep, Union School.
Wow, my daughter's there.
Oh, that's so
and my
funny.
son's at Westwoods.
Such an incredible school system.
And you loved Westwoods. My son's just the first one in the family. Going there.
So Westwoods wasn't there.
Oh.
So it was Union straight to Irving A. Robbins.
Oh yeah. They didn't have
Farmington
Westwoods.
High School. Yeah.
Did you walk to Farmington High School through the woods there?
I could, yeah. So I would bike there.
Oh, bike there through the Highlands.
Yeah, because it was great because my neighborhood was connected through the Highlands to that whole neighborhood. So it was in the summer or on weekends we would just disappear.
So my son runs the back of our cul-de-sac, and there's a path right into Boxwood or one of those Basswood or one of those
same
streets.
with our street.
Oh my God, yeah. And then he just took me the other day.
It was great for kids to just be able to like hop on your bike and run away and meet up with your friends.
No, that's what they do now. Now he just goes because I lived for 23 years on South Road over on into the mall.
Oh yeah,
the Wendy's.
Yep.
No neighborhood. We're on a main road, and so we just moved to Unionville in June.
It's very idyllic.
It's idyllic, and the kids are great, and he just takes off, and I'm like, where are you? And then he even cuts over to Tunxus Mead through the woods.
Oh yeah,
there's like a path or something to like the soccer fields over there.
Yeah.
So do you get? Was it a traditional family, mother, father in the house?
Yeah, mother, father.
Siblings.
Yeah, 4.
Wow.
There's 4 of us.
4.
Yeah.
And so just a traditional Farmington suburban.
Yeah,
life?
middle class.
Middle class.
My parents both worked incredibly hard.
Were they theater people?
They were not. So they were very creative. My dad was always. When he was younger, in his 20s, he was a DJ, which is hysterical to think about. And he had this massive record collection. My parents really loved to entertain, and I think that was their form of creativity in terms of cooking like really different and interesting things, hosting these parties where friends and family would come and a lot of my family members were performers, so singers and,
interesting.
played instruments. So we would have a family party, and there would always be a dance party in the kitchen. There would always be someone playing the piano or singing.
Okay,
so
there you
it
go.
wasn't like my parents weren't directly artists, but they loved just the life of like being creative and entertaining.
Oh, I see. Right. So that's right. So did any of your, just to jump ahead quickly, and then we'll go back, any of your siblings get into the arts?
No. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, none of my siblings are in the arts. My younger sister is a social worker. My older sister is a nurse, and my older brother is in sales.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're the one that did that. So you had those folks are at the house. So very true. And again, now I know the area, so it's very familiar.
Yeah,
It's a great little area. Unionville is it's a nice little
It's
town.
a great little town.
Yeah, and it's still Farmington. And as you know, where you grew up and where we're living now is literally on the Avon line.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you
Right.
look at Find My Friends and you see my
Yep.
location, it says
Yeah.
Avon, because I'm like, I could throw a stone and I'm in Avon, but we still get all the beauty of Farmington. So, all right, so you're there, go to Farmington High School. What's your first show you see as a kid?
Sure. So what I would say, so I went to Farmington High School half day, and then went to Greater Hartford Academy for the Arts.
who
the other half
just
day.
did that? Jordan Pollard.
Oh, Jordan. Oh, no. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I
just
know
had
their
her on.
family so
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Well,
too.
she
She's
went there,
wonderful.
and then her
Yeah, of
daughter
course.
goes there.
Yep. And her brother went there because her brother was in the class above me.
Oh my God, what a small world.
Such a small world.
So she was there, and so you did that, and so you're a theater kid.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting because my entry point was more comedy and improv. That was what my interest was at the time. And I had done theater. I was very interested in it, but I decided to go to Performing Arts High School because I was like, I'm going to be on Saturday Night Live.
All
That
right.
was my thing. But then going to the academy, it really sort of opened up my, interest in musical theater, in more straight plays, and what that could offer in terms of teaching people something.
Did you act in any musicals or?
Yeah, I was in a few musicals. Into the Woods.
Oh, that's her favorite musical.
Oh, really?
Jordan, yeah.
Oh, that's
She's
so
like, I love
fun.
Into the Woods. She saw the
Yeah.
original cast.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's such a great show. And then a couple plays and stuff. But then sort of realized I preferred to be behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I started doing some directing. And
As a teenager?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then into college as well. I mean, the great thing about the academy is I felt like by the time I got to college that I was advanced in the sense of I understood the industry a little bit more in terms of how do you produce a show and what it takes to piece together a production. And of course, a lot of high schools have great theater arts programs, but Greater Hartford Academy for the Arts really, was staffed with a lot of teachers that had already worked in New York, or were really invested in the industry, or still working simultaneously to teaching.
So you do that, and then where do you go to college?
So I actually my dad was very sick when I was in college. So I stayed close. I went to University of Hartford.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. So and what did you study? The music or?
Nope. So I studied communications and television production.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you go to University of Hartford. So you stay local, and what's the first show you see, like a professional show you see as a kid that you remember?
So talk about full circle moment. My first Broadway show was at the Bushnell seeing Annie.
Oh, okay.
So it's crazy to think, as a child, as a 5-year-old seeing Annie at the Bushnell, and now it is my job to book those shows that are coming
that's crazy.
to the theater.
But your first show was Annie at the Bushnell.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then did you guys, because obviously we have close proximity to New York. Did you, as a family, ever go to New York to see shows?
We did, yeah. So we would do.
I know it's expensive for a family of 6. Yeah.
Day trips and stuff like that, but we didn't see a lot of Broadway.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, think if you're a middle class parent, 6 tickets,
Right, it was too
a
expensive.
train or driving in the parking.
Yeah.
It's like it's a it's a $1,200 day.
But my parents were great about. I remember seeing a production of The Wizard of Oz at like a dinner theater in Berlin. Like my parents were always looking for really different and interesting things for us to do, you know? We had these Sunday surprise days, so my parents would sort of like curate these little day trips again because, you know, they had 4 kids and it gets expensive. So we would go up to the Berkshires and find a little theater or a day trip in Litchfield County to find a new little side of the road restaurant or ice cream shop.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it's like, you know, my family always talks about how much we have fond memories of those little surprise creative day
you wake
trips.
up and like, well, where's mom and dad taking us?
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What a nice thing. So Annie is your first, and then after the University of Hartford, do you make your way to New York eventually?
I did, yeah. So after I graduated, I saved up some money. I stayed at home for a little while and then moved to New York when I was 23 years old. Wow. Yeah. And I got a job working as an assistant to a costume designer who did a lot of Broadway work, but also did some residential.
Assistant being like making their appointments.
Yeah, just like managing their schedule.
But you needed a foot in the door.
Yeah, it was an entry point, and then I also so that was sort of part time, and then I taught theater for the Park Slope Day Camp. So it was a Brooklyn camp. So I taught theater
all right.
for
So
them.
and meanwhile, you're taking calls from people that are prominent in the Broadway scene.
So it's a great way
knowing who the players are.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the most famous person you took a call from?
Oh gosh. I mean, so many. I mean, celebrities.
Like Patti LuPone?
No, I mean, celebrities to me, like there have been so many celebrities.
No, I mean,
that
like
I've met.
Broadway royalty. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like Patti LuPone or like one of those.
It's more so like designers, like celebrity designers.
I would know the name. Yeah. No, but you're like, oh my God, this is like, you know, Bob Smith. He's like the god of like, or like who's the sheriff? Peter Mackey. What's the guy's name?
Oh, Bob Mackey.
Bob Mackey. Yeah.
Bob Mackey.
Like Bob Mackey called like
Paul Tazewell, who is the costume designer for Wicked.
Yeah. Like because people would say to me like, I say to the girls, I'm like, you know, Bob Mackey. They're like, how are you not gay? I'm like, well, I said, well, I vacation in Provincetown and I vacation with gay men. Like, you gotta know Bob Mackey is. They'll throw me out of the group. Right, Bob Mackey. But like, you know, Bob Mackey is like, you know, he's a god for like, you know, design.
Yeah.
I mean, he designed Cher. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, that's like the password to like get in anywhere. Like,
and the Bushnell had the production of Cher. I don't know if you said.
One of my son's favorite shows is the Cher Show.
Oh, that's hysterical.
It's a good show.
And we had those costumes, Bob Mackey costumes, on display.
Oh, I didn't get to see
those.
It was great. Yeah, that's a really good show.
Yeah,
as was Tina Turner. I thought that show.
Yeah, that was great.
They have to. I read that they have to really travel with 2 Tinas, or like 3 Tinas, because it's exhausting.
It's an exhausting.
I mean, you see she puts on a concert.
Yeah.
And all right, so let's stop for a second because I have a couple of questions for you. Can we agree that Cats is trash? Can we agree? Or no?
No comment. No. It is not my favorite show.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. I mean, it is, it has its following, which is what I find to be interesting.
Trump,
Yeah, right. We're not gonna go. But yeah, no, it's true. It does something for some people.
Yeah, it does.
And it's just not my thing.
It's just not my thing. Yeah. Production wise. And how about in terms of could you agree that in Les Mis, the bishop is the most underrated character?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even though it's such a small part, without the bishop, we have nothing.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just obsessed with
guides
it.
He
guides the whole thing, right? Because if he doesn't basically say, "Here's the stuff, go make an honest life for yourself," he could turn him back in, and he's back on the rack.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just fascinated with that storyline. So you become an assistant to somebody there, and you're teaching teenagers during the summer for summer camp?
So summer camp, it was just for one summer, that first year that I moved to New York. And it was kids ranging from 5 to, 16.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All right. So you're teaching there. And so now you're immersed in the New York theater world, right? Because was this a prominent costume designer that you were working for?
Yeah. So someone who was doing a lot of work for textile design, costume design, and they were just such a great mentor to me, and they were the one who eventually connected me to my next job, which I was at for 11 years.
And what job is that?
So United Scenic Artists, so doing labor negotiations.
Oh, okay. So that was your job before the Bushnell.
Yes.
Wow, so you did that.
I
So
was there for a long time.
and you're negotiating for these are equity actors?
So it's all designers.
So
the costume set,
and
lighting.
they're union.
Yep, they're all union. And so for me, what I loved about that job is representing designers who are very skilled at art and what they create, but don't necessarily understand
the
business and understanding how to protect their rights, making sure they're paid appropriately, and that if their show goes somewhere, if it does go to Broadway, that they're...
It's such an important... I even see this in my practice as a divorce lawyer with artists. They're just... you can't have it all, right? I always say to people, right? These are supremely talented people, but you can't be that talented and then have that other skill where you're like, the business side of it. They're terrible with that stuff. And it's not a judgment. It's just what it is. And so you really have to jump in and be like, no. No, you're worth more than that. We need to, you can't agree to that. No.
Or like, we get along, we're friends, so we're going to figure it out. It's like, no, let's just put something in writing just to make sure. Because, for some of these designers, if your show goes to Broadway, like the costume designer for Wicked will say, it has a beautiful brownstone on the Upper West Side in New York. And it's like, this is the house that Wicked built, because the initial fee for your designs is not that much, but the royalties for every production of Wicked that has been running and touring the world
it's in perpetuity
for the last 20 plus years, if you're getting 1,500 plus a week for every single show
is that what it is?
Of Wicked that's running.
So there's 8 a week in New York.
Right.
And then there's 3 tours.
Yeah.
And they're doing 8 a week.
Right.
So so it's 1,500 times 8 times 1,500.
No, but 1,500 a week. So and I'm sure that rate has gone up significantly since.
Right. So if it's say it's $3,000, right? $3,000 and there's 3 of them. There, it's $9,000 a week. That's $500,000. Right. So as opposed to they'll take care of me. As opposed to, and of course then the movie buys the rights. And they want some of that stuff.
Right. So it can guarantee you, especially when theater is, it's important, and of course the people who are the artists who create this stuff are passionate about it, because it's not like it's this huge lucrative thing in most cases. But if you do create a show that is successful, that does make money, and you can play a role in that and getting royalties, that can secure your future financially.
Forever. Yeah, right.
So you want to make sure that those artists are protected.
Secure it passively. In other words, because once that's set, the work is done.
Right.
It's just an annuity.
Right.
Yeah, it's just forever.
Exactly.
And as long as that show runs, and some of the big shows, as we know, are Les Mis is 35 years. Granted, it's only in the West End now and on tour, but still, I mean, imagine you're a Hamilton, you do that.
Right.
I mean, there's 4 companies plus New York,
right?
And it's all over the world, and now it's back. We're trying to get back for the Leslie Odom, but the tickets are insane.
Well, we do have it at the Bushnell.
I know.
We
already have 4 tickets, 4th row. Right. No, I bought tickets for that, but I want to go see it with Leslie Odom, see the OBC.
Jr.
But he's but I just looked at one ticket was $1,000.
And it's crazy. I was just looking at the weekly sales, and it just shot up with Leslie Odom Jr.
For sure.
So smart.
I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean,
of course.
He's so good. I saw him. You guys had him at the Bushnell before you were the guy. He just came as sang songs, and he sang some Hamilton stuff. But we weren't so into Hamilton then. Now it's we drive back from Maine on vacation, and we start at the top because it's it's a 3-hour drive, and we just sing through the whole thing.
Where do you go in Maine?
Kennebunkport.
Oh, we were just there this past weekend.
What is it? These live?
I know. Yeah, Hidden Pond.
Oh,
I love that place.
Earth. Did you eat there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I liked it. I go there. I've been there a bunch. My best friend from college. We met the first day of college. She's my kid's godmother, platonic friend, and she lives there. She has a place right at the end of. You go up the hill to Kennebunkport. At the end of the hill, you take a right and then a left, and you can walk into town.
Oh yeah.
So it's like near where the donut place is, where the ice cream place is. Not called Big Daddy's.
Yeah.
Now it's something else, but she's right there. And it's funny. Every year I do a spin class with George Bush.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, with her because he lives there,
Yeah.
So it's a private class of 10, and I spin next to the president. He's funny. He's like, come on.
We were just talking about that last night about George Bush of just like, it's crazy how that has shifted of like, now he's just this nice old man who paints. You're like, in comparison to what we have now, you're like,
I'll tell you offline a story. Yeah, he's great. So he's there. So we go, so I have a free place to stay. And then we go up to Portland, which is, you want to talk about a food town.
Oh my God.
4th
Street.
4th Street,
Scales.
We just went to Scales. It's so funny. We booked Scales. We went to Scales twice.
Yeah.
And then my son and I went to, they have a professional soccer league there called the Heart of Pines.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And L.L. Bean designs their kit. It's really nice. And, it's perfect Maine. They have an oyster food truck, like shucking oysters at the soccer game.
Right.
So, we stay in, we like Kenny Bunkport. We like a Gonquit.
Love a Gonquit.
We went down to a Barnacle Billy's. And there's the Crooked Pine.
MC Perkins. We had dinner.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's a very that's a gay friendly town. Yeah. That's like a little enclave. And
it's funny. So my parents, growing up, we would go to Algonquin every summer, and even as a child, like I remember clocking sort of like, as a gay man, of like, this is, I noticed something about this community, and like, you
feel at home, man.
Yeah, connected to it. Like, there was something about it I just remember of like, oh, I associate with that person.
Yeah. No, there's drag shows there.
Yeah, great drag shows. Algonquin Playhouse does some great productions.
Oh, and that's a cool place. I saw a show there. It was nice. So we go there. We also, you ever go to Cogden's Donuts in Wells?
Oh God,
it's so good.
It's so good.
I know you eat it. You're like, oh.
I know.
All right. So, at what point? Let's just to the gay thing. When do you come out? When do you realize like, hey, I'm different?
Sure. So I actually came out when I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
I was very lucky to have a supportive friend group, and I didn't really come out on purpose. High school party, had a few drinks. But I was very lucky that my friends were very supportive. And I also, a couple of my close friends were like captain of the football team, captain of the soccer team. So it was because of those guys
who were okay with you,
who were okay with me, that so everyone else followed suit, which was great.
Because how old are you?
I'm 46.
46. All right. So I'm 50. So we're that era. I will tell people, as progressive as Connecticut is, it was like as us as a kid was brutal on gay kids. No matter where you were.
I was the only out person in my high school.
No, right. I'm saying because it wasn't because people would still make fun. Yeah. It wasn't as like now. I'm told that it's like people are just the kids are just so cool with it because it's just they've grown up with it and it's much better. That's not to say that there's kids that aren't bullied and whatnot, but it's a lot better than it was. Because I remember my best friend growing up. He just came up. He lives in Canada now, but I've known him since he was 6 months old. And it was very obvious that he was gay when we were younger, and it was just mercilessly bullied. And because there wasn't. And again, I think the arts and Hollywood has helped a lot with that because it normalized it. It showed like on sitcoms like Will and Grace, hey, these are fine people. Like, don't be scared. And a lot of it is, ignorance. Like, you don't know a gay person. You're scared. What do they do? Do they eat children? Like, you don't know. And then you realize like, oh my God, I'm friends with one. Like, oh my God, these are the coolest people.
Right.
So that helped a lot in sort of through the 80s and 90s.
Normalize
it and say, oh my God, these are nice people and they're funny. And
they just want to live like
anyone else. So that helps. So you come out in high school and parents cool with it?
Yeah. I was very lucky. So I was mentioning before, my dad was very sick through high school into college. And, I remember going on a car ride with my dad and he was like, if there's someone in your life, like I really want to meet them.
Oh, that's
I was still, confronting my sexuality. Right. So I wasn't really dating at that point in my life, but it was just sort of like a nice gesture. So yeah, my parents were supportive.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because I know from my gay friends that the father relationship is the crucial one, right?
Yeah,
because it could go really bad or it can be really good. And there's nothing better than a father for a son to be like, hey, dude, whatever you do, I'm cool. Like that. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah, that goes a long way. And I feel like my parents were very supportive. And of course, there's a piece of it for them psychologically in terms of like, well, I just don't want my child to be hurt, and I just want them to have a quote unquote normal life.
Well, right.
And so there is that processing for them, which I get, and I feel like my parents had that time to process.
Right, because you don't want your kid to suffer, right? You don't want your kid to, you're like, oh my God, its life is so much harder. But as you know, like, why would you choose that, right? I mean, it's just who I am. It's how I was made.
Yeah.
So wow. So okay. So you had an early coming out. So you didn't. I mean, obviously, you still had to confront it and deal with all of those things, but you weren't living a secret life for your 20s, which to me is the most difficult thing when I hear that people had to like not be like betray themselves. I mean, that must be like
psychologically that's really hard
to do that and do stuff in the dark and in circle, in private circles, and you can't tell people. To me, that's awful. But all right, so you do the labor negotiations, and that's for designers only.
Yep. So predominantly set lighting, costume, sound, projection design, and it was theater and film and television.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So for like shows that were filming in New York, like
So and it's interesting because when I was in this role was sort of the rise of more production in New York City. I think that for a lot of the producers and the talent, they're like, well, I live in New York and I want to stay here. I don't want to go to the West Coast, or I don't want to go to Atlanta. How can we do this? And of course, we're already a couple studios in Queens, but that has been built out over the last 15, 20 years. And so now there are these massive production studios. Netflix is in the process. They just broke ground on this. I think it's supposed to be like $3.5 billion studio space.
Wow, in Queens,
in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
So
just outside
close.
The city.
Yeah.
And then and most people don't know this, but New York has an entire government office dedicated to people that film to help facilitate filming, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to shut down a street, you need to park a trailer, they get the cars moved, right? What's that? It's called like the Office of
New York City.
I forget what it's called.
Film. I can't remember.
Think about a great job. Like you work in that office, right? And like they're filming a show, and they're like, all right, we need to have 10 trailers here. We're gonna shut down. Or like when Tom Cruise, they shut down Times Square. Like they coordinate that, and they charge you, and they make money. It's people want to film there, but. Aren't these like how much work do you have? Was your work there like feast or famine in the sense that like once you have a contract, usually it's for a couple of years, right? Then you don't change it. Like how much negotiation would you do on a regular basis?
All the time. So in terms of it's also contract management, so collectively bargains agreement. So you're negotiating a collectively bargain agreement, but then there's the individual contracts per show. So I'm reviewing every single Broadway contract for every artist just to make sure that it adheres to the collectively bargain agreement, in addition to, okay, what are the other things that I can help them with trying to add additional language that will support them? Can I help them bump up their royalties if the show does well?
So do you have a lawyer at your side that can help as well?
Yeah, so we had private counsel.
Outside
private counsel.
Big
so
firm, medium firm, or specialty boutique shop?
Specialty firm did a lot of, more so labor union, but specific to the arts industry.
Right, they knew the art stuff.
Yeah.
I see. So you'd have a lawyer that you would like that would help with the drafting.
Correct.
Right. And you'd say, all right, here's the term sheet. Now put it in the lawyer talk.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, I was very lucky when I stepped into that role in my early 20s, and it was very interesting to me, and it was a completely different facet to the entertainment industry that I didn't know anything about. And I feel like even having gone to a performing arts high school, you don't really understand. Like you're like, oh, I want to be an actor, or I want to be director, and those are the two things that I can do, or I can be back of house and do lighting and stuff. But you don't really understand like the business of the entertainment industry. And so for me, it was a great opportunity. In addition to the union that I worked for paid for me to take classes through Columbia's International Labor Relations program.
Oh, right.
So it was great. So I picked up those negotiation skills during the time that I was
there. And who's
there.
on the other side of you?
So producers. So whether it's a producer or it is, a specific theater manager, because you're working with an off-Broadway theater that is, producing a show, and they need a contract for the designers that they're
But,
working with.
what determines whether they're going to use union or non-union?
If the designer is union.
Oh, so if they want that designer, you're like, then the whole show's union.
Yeah. It depends on the situation, because there are a lot of instances where it's a non-union theater, but they want to use a designer who is a member of the union, and it is the responsibility of that union member to say, hey, I know you're not a union theater, but I need my benefits. These are important things for me to get money into my pension and have health care. So can you please sign a contract? It can be a one-off contract for this specific show.
I see. Have you ever done any work for actors?
I have not.
You have not?
No.
Okay. But it would be the same kind of thing, right?
Very similar.
Very similar, right?
Yeah. And so I belong to this organization called COBUG, in which it was all the unions that we would meet monthly to sort of discuss.
See, hey, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? What's market? Right. Because, I've done some divorces and with folks that were involved in this stuff, and I was very pleased to see that they actually make a good living.
Yeah. It depends on...
It depends on the show and the level,
and where you are.
But if you're in like a national touring show, like you're in the touring show of Hamilton, and and you're Eliza,
right?
You could make a good living.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
And now, granted, it's not the best circumstance. You're traveling from city to city.
Yeah, you could be traveling for 2 years.
You're changing your Tinder profile every 2 weeks. And then maybe you get a few days. You shoot back to New York. You've got a sublet you got to worry about in New York that you're dealing with. You're banking money. You're living out of hotels and Airbnbs. You don't know where you're ending up. Great, you're seeing the world, seeing the country, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you're right. But you want to settle down and have a family. Like I met a woman. Her and her husband, she was in Wicked, actually. She's one of the backstage people, and her husband is an actor in Chicago.
Okay.
And they're married, and they have a little girl. And so the little girl's with them. I'm like, oh, my God.
And I do know people who are married or in a relationship together that end up doing the same show together.
Right. Well, that's easier.
One's performing in it and the other one's a stage manager or whatever. So at least they get to travel together.
Right. And I know the guy who plays Jean Valjean in the touring Les Mis. I've known him. We followed him for years. Yeah. He's known my son since he was 3 at his first Les Mis. So we see him. And his wife, and now I'm friends with him on Facebook, his wife works from home, and they have a daughter, and then they homeschool her. But she's, she comes with them to the city, and then the kid sees the country and then sees dad, and they go around. So they can keep an intact family because the wife works from home. So she can be anywhere, which is kind of nice. But you can't be a married person and do a show on the road with you wouldn't see your family.
Yeah.
But I was very pleased to learn and that in those bigger shows you could make a very sustainable living. Yep. And that's a tribute to the unions that who have gone out there and said protecting because you always hear look and are there struggling artists? Of course, and we want to eliminate that, but. It's good to see that, look, I don't mind paying more for the ticket because I want to know that the artists are living, they can live and they can have health care and they can survive and they can go to a nice dinner or go on a vacation or. Especially
for, those Broadway shows, when you think about it, now it's upwards of 20 plus million to produce a Broadway show.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So it's when you think about, okay, what do they have to charge for tickets to actually start?
Is that just one on a show on Broadway that's going to be fixed there, or is that one that's going on tour?
So most shows are hoping they're going to go on tour. That is a financial model that, especially right now, because there are still financial challenges on Broadway right now, if you're seeing how long shows are running. And there are those, the straight plays, star-driven shows that are limited run, and they know they're building that show out knowing they're not going on tour and they're going to generate, knock on wood, generate money because George Clooney is in it or whatever celebrity. Whereas for a musical, they have a great opportunity of thinking about the show on the road because, okay, let's say the show is going to be on Broadway, hopefully for at least 10 months to a year. Well, they can maybe recoup, hopefully. But if they can get a guarantee of 2 years on the road for, 40 weeks, that's a lot of money. So their hope is an extension of that production for years to come. If you look at a lot of these shows that, look at Come From Away. That's one of my favorite shows.
That's the 9/11 show?
Yes, the 9/11 musical. And it's just really about man's humanity to man. And it's just a touching show. But, that actually started at Goodspeed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It had a lot of different iterations on the road to Broadway, and then it went to Broadway, and it was such a sort of niche show, but it was one of those shows that had such word of mouth, and people felt so connected to it. And then it went on the road, and it's still touring to this day. So now it's been 6 years on the road, and it's a show that you never would have thought.
Right, and it does take 9 trucks to load in there.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's a good one for money wise. Without getting into numbers, we probably can't, but I'm curious, how does, if you book, let's say, Mrs. Doubtfire, which by the way, fantastic show. No. And we were very, my son loves that movie. I love that movie. It's a perfect movie. There's like 10 perfect movies that I've seen in my life. That's one of them. Yeah. And it's like, oh, fuck, how are you going to top Robin Williams? Right. The guy who plays Robin Williams. McClure. But you know him? Yeah. Oh my God. A legend. That guy's a legend. Right. He takes over Robin Williams' body. Yeah. That was one of the best shows.
It was so great.
So how does the theater, we could talk generically, pay the traveling show, or do you share the ticket sales? Like, how do they make? How does everyone make money on this?
Yeah, and I can share this sort of broadly, so people understand.
Not the details.
And this also explains the Bushnell itself as a nonprofit organization, because I feel that a lot of people, think, oh, well, you're a nonprofit and I'm buying tickets, so therefore I'm supporting you. And you are. And I appreciate all of our patrons and subscribers in supporting us. But I would say that when we negotiate with producers, there's a huge expense on their end in terms of producing the show, getting it on the road. If you think about, there's 9 trucks and they have 60 people who are traveling with this show, it gets very expensive, especially post-COVID. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how inflation has affected the costs for touring productions. So for us, we're negotiating a deal with the producers, but a large percentage.
And you're doing it.
Yes. Right. So that's my role. So I'm negotiating.
Right. And would you normally do that if somebody else did it, or they have you do that as well because you have that experience?
Yeah, no. So anyone who's in my role would be doing that. So, but that's one of the reasons why our CEO, Dave DeFay, asked me to step into this role. He's like, you're passionate about theater. You've worked in the Broadway industry. You have all these connections. You have the experience in labor negotiations. This is the perfect role for you. And it's been a great opportunity for me. So in terms of negotiating with the producers, they're also negotiating with similar performing arts centers, PAC group centers across the country. And so we're all sort of trying to work out a deal, knowing they need to cover their costs. We need to cover our costs because we're a union theater. We're a big, old, beautiful theater that we have our own expenses. So in the end, there's a split on, there's a guarantee that you pay to the producers up front. So no matter what the show sells, that they get that money.
And that depends on the show, right? Like a more popular. Hamilton's going to get more than something that's smaller.
And then once
when you book them, that check is out. Is that right?
Essentially, yeah. You have to pay that. Yeah.
And then they say, okay, we're reserving these 10 days. We're coming to the
Correct. So I'm booking out a year to 2 years in advance for all of Broadway.
So you're working on next year's already?
I'm already essentially finished with next year.
Wow.
Yeah. So just negotiating contracts now, but the dates are in place. So once a show is settled in terms of negotiations, you're paying that guarantee. Then depending on sales, then it's a split. It's a percentage split.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. And the hope is that you'll make a little bit. The theater will make some on the split.
Of course,
recoup and then split.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then you have to then also back in all the subscribers that are getting the tickets at $50 each as a subscriber. Yeah. And then of course the reason why you do the one-offs is because they're probably more expensive. Like when Les Mis comes or Hamilton, that's a more expensive show, so it doesn't include it in my yearly subscription.
Right. But it's also a good boost. So our subscribers are sort of the core, the heart of our financials. It's our bread and butter. Broadway
and you get it right up front.
Right, exactly. So we get that up front. It's a guarantee for the year, and as a nonprofit organization, that is huge. 50% of our annual income
subscribers
is not subscribers. 50% of our annual income is from earned revenue, so ticket sales, whereas 50% is contributed, so donated.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that too. So having those subscribers built in every year.
Is that why I keep
is
getting calls? They
huge.
never leave a message. It says Bushnell Theatre. Are they looking for money?
Sure.
They don't leave a message. I'm like, I don't know who to call. But like, I'm in court, and I'm like, I always give money, but I'm like, they tell them to leave a message. Damn it, I'll contribute. Just say, hey, it's the Bushnell. We're looking for a couple bucks.
I know how to find you, Rich.
No, but seriously, but like, all they have to say is, don't beat around the bush and say, looking for a couple bucks. I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
But like, they
right.
never leave a message, so I don't know who to call back.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like,
Yeah.
because I always see that I see missed call Bushnell Theatre. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do they want?
Why are
I'm
they
like,
calling?
they want money.
They want money.
I love to give you money. It brings my family
Thank
such
you.
joy, and it's so like wonderful of a place. I see. So now I understand how it happens. So it's that you get that you negotiate it. So the announcement you're going to make this March is already ready.
Yeah. There's one show that is sort of, shifting dates. It's so interesting. So at the end of summer, early fall is when things are really starting to fall into place. So I've been holding dates for next season for some of these shows for 10 months to a year. And then what happens is after the Tony Awards, then a lot of theaters across the country, everyone's like, no, I really want that show. I don't want this show. And so everything's shifting very quickly. And then by the end of summer, hopefully everything settles into place.
But because you're so connected in with these folks, like, are you able to, like, it seems this way, you're able to get the good stuff, right? Because you have an in. You Jim, and you're like, Jim, we need this show.
Yeah.
Does that help? I mean,
yes, it is a relational.
Well, and hence the name of my pod is I'll call my guy.
Yeah.
And that's like, because you say to you, Patrick, we want subs. You're like, oh, I just went to dinner with that guy. I'm going to call him. And you call him and you're like, bro, I need the show. What do we need to do?
Right.
But if you're just a cold call, it's not the same. You have to find a way to the person that says, oh, Patrick's good. It's a great theater. The big supporters of the arts. We're going to get them. I want to help him. Right. I mean, is that huge
it's huge. So and I'm such a extrovert, interpersonal person. That's big for me. And so I feel like that's a skill set where I excel. And also having been in this business for such a long time and having connections and having worked in the Broadway industry for so long, that does go a long way. And having built these strong relationships beyond just the last 3.5 years in my role, but with these people who have worked in the industry for such a long time, goes a long way, so that you can reach out to people knowing you have a strong relationship of, I can help you here, can you help me here, and knowing the challenges of, for those agents who are trying to book out the tours, who are looking for a certain number of weeks for every year to make sure that show can stay on the road, in addition to, how do I make this work for okay, we're going to start on the East Coast, so we should stay on the East Coast.
You don't want to go from Dallas to Hartford.
Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So they're trying to plot out, okay, we're going to open it in Tech and open in Providence, and then we can go to Connecticut, and then we're going to go to Buffalo and Philly. So that's always difficult too. You get those phone calls where they're like, okay, well, we're shifting the routing, and so I'm not gonna be able to give you those dates that you've been holding for 8 months, and you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And so it's this constant sort of conversation internally with our team, and then also externally with those agents. And I'm working with a lot of different agents to say, okay, this show doesn't work in these dates anymore, but it can work in these dates, but I have this other show that overlaps. Can we move that one to another day? So it's a lot.
And then that person will call, like, I know Jim, he runs that. Let me see if he can work that.
So there's a lot of
you need 18 to 24 months to be able to do that.
Correct.
Because you can't do it like 3 months out. It's not about. Do you get agents call you, like, to try to sell you stuff? Like, hey, we want you to do the 2 weeks with this
all the time.
Show.
So I would say less so on Broadway, because I have those relationships. More so with one-nighters, because there's so much product. And so Tom Sessa is our senior director of programming. He handles most of our negotiations and booking for one-nighters. And he does an exceptional job. He's been in the industry for 25 plus years. years. And so there's a lot of stuff that just comes through.
I forgot. You're not just doing the big talk stuff.
Stand-up comedians, concerts, speakers, things like that. So, but there are a lot of times where we get emails pretty much every day of, this little quartet or, some singer, and they're looking to perform at the Bushnell. So we're constantly having those conversations.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So you have so I forgot about that. So you have those, and those could be profitable as well for you.
Yeah,
right? I mean, depending on who it is, or you guys have Itzhak Perlman, right? Who'll come. Yeah. And so people don't know the Bushnell, which is a gem in our community. It's 3,200 seats.
Right? No, 20, just a little over 2,700.
Oh, 2,700. Okay. Yeah. And then how about the smaller theater?
900.
900.
Yeah,
okay.
Belting Theater.
Right, Belting. And how old is the Bushnell Theater?
We are 96 years old, so we'll be 104 years.
Wow. And you're already probably thinking about what you're going to do for that.
So a lot of planning on our 100th celebration, which is such a huge milestone.
Right. And your Broadway series is, 6 or 7 shows typically?
So we usually do 7 shows. Right. This year we actually have 8.
Right.
So it's been interesting. Subscription has been great. A good response to that because I was curious, in those years where there isn't that Hamilton, how do you balance that out? So trying to strike a balance of interest for a lot of different people I want to make sure we have at least one family title and more of a traditional musical versus more of a modern musical. And I feel like I'm always trying to curate a season that is going to be of interest to the broader public.
Right? You do, because you do some stuff that's sort of deep end of the pool stuff, as I call it.
Yeah.
Like the like for instance, like the O'Mary kind of like,
oh my God,
right, which is like different than the Beauty and the Beast, right? It's like it's a much different. And Beauty and the Beast could be fun and it's great, but you want to also bring the families out there, so the families can see that. So I do love how you do that, but. You had mentioned before, so you're a Tony voter.
Yep.
Right? And so how long have you been a Tony voter?
Been a Tony voter for 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have you been to the Tonys? You go every year?
I don't go every year. It's so much fun. It's such a long night.
Is it?
And so I've been 2 times.
I have a dream to take my son. And
you should.
I know, but how do you get tickets?
I can always help you.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because Jillian, my assistant, her sister won tickets this year, and I sat there, and Hamilton was doing Hamilton, and I'm like, please, I'll give you my kidney. I'll give you my kidney. I didn't get to go, but I'm sure it's a long night. But it's once in a lifetime.
That's the thing. So for me, it's like, okay, loved going, but don't forget, it's not only the telecast. It's essentially 3 hours before because you need to get there early.
Security.
And then security, but then there's the award ceremony for all the creatives.
Oh, right, yeah.
So there's a whole other ceremony that's like an hour and a half prior to the getting TV, there. Yeah. But ultimately, it's such a fun night, but I don't need to be there every year because I love watching it.
Oh, it is fun. In your pajamas, right? In your pajamas. So you're a Tony voter, and you've been to 642 shows.
Yeah, right.
That's fucking insane, brother.
It is such a...
Talk
about a great perk for a job of you get 2 tickets to every Broadway potentially nominated show.
Because you can't vote on it if you haven't seen it.
Right. And so they'll send you an invitation. They'll give you a time frame. Always best seats in the house within like the first.
Oh, the producer sends
10 rows. Yeah, 10 rows.
And you and your husband go to New York a lot.
Yeah, so we go a lot. I'm in the city probably 4 or 5 days a month.
Right.
Because it's important to maintain those relationships.
You need to see what you want to bring to the Bushnell.
See all of these shows. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow, what a great thing. 642 to me, that's like, what's hot right now? What do you like now? What do you see?
I mean, O'Mary.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times.
You're right?
Now.
Okay.
It's so funny because I saw it off Broadway.
With Cole?
With Cole
right.
at the Vineyard Theater. And I was like, oh my God, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But what life could it have after this? And so the fact that Kevin McCollum, who's the executive producer on that show, was so clever in making that show work for Broadway. And then it has this...
You think it's going to go on the road?
Cult following. They're trying to get it on the road, and I think it will. It's such a challenge because it's a word-of-mouth show.
Oh.
And so, David Fay, our CEO, will always say to me, he said this to me in the very beginning when I took the job, you can book whatever show you want, just remember that we have a financial responsibility to the board. So the weight of that I always think about. So it's like there are shows where I'm like, oh my God, I love this show. This would be great.
Yeah, but it would be great for who?
Right. And, it's like, how do we balance this out? Is this going to sell tickets? And for O'Mary, it's an incredible show. It's a great word of mouth show.
I don't know if you feel
And if
it,
we
yeah.
only had a week, I can't put it in our subscription because I feel like it's a little too vulgar for a lot of our subscribers that I know we would be getting complaints for
right.
years.
No, you got to watch that, right? Because
Right.
you're right. And it may be like, again, that's a deep end of the pool kind of show.
Right.
How about, did you see Othello?
I did not get to see Othello.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you like these days in New York?
I'm trying to think. So maybe Happy Ending
Okay.
is the show that won the Tony this past season, and I'm so glad that it's done so well. It opened last fall, and it was a very slow start. Again, another great example of word of mouth that because it's so expensive to get a show on Broadway that a lot of the product that is going on Broadway, and there's nothing wrong with this, is known titles. So it is based on a movie. It is based on a book. It is, it is a jukebox musical. And I love all of those shows. But to have an original production created by two incredibly talented people, one of which is from Connecticut, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they created this beautiful piece, and it's just about human connection and technology, and how do we use the time that we have in this life. And it's really
And the name of the show again?
Maybe Happy Ending.
Maybe Happy Ending. Right, they won the award, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I
Yeah.
didn't. Are they going to try to get that on the road as well?
They are. So I can't say if I'm holding dates or not.
Right. Maybe Happy Ending, but they're not on the road yet.
They're not on the road yet. So they will be kicking off the tour.
But that's a huge
next
deal because
year.
now you have this Broadway that's going to stay, and you're like, I need to recreate all of that, and then cast all those people. I mean, think about the work that's involved in that.
Yeah.
And then,
but such a great opportunity. So so it's Will Aronson and Hugh Park who wrote this show together. And Hugh is South Korean, and so they wrote the musical in both Korean and
oh my gosh,
American, and English. And so now this show that they thought was like this little production that they were going to do has gone to Broadway and is now going on a national tour.
Is Phantom? What about Phantom? Is that going on the tour?
It is going on tour.
It is. I saw that. There's some Baltimore dates.
Yes. Sadly, that production is so large, it does not fit into our theater.
Is that right?
Yeah. So we're hoping that they're going to make some modifications and we'll be able to.
I took my son. We were in London to see some soccer, and we went, and he I loved it. It's such a good show, right?
And I'm excited to go see Masquerade too, the immersive.
Oh yes.
Version of it, right?
Where is that in Brooklyn or Queens?
No, it's in Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
So how does it work? It's Masquerade. It's immersive Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. So you're still seated, but it's a little bit more engaging. It sort of breaks the fourth wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go see it. That's active right now.
Yeah.
All right, but same score, everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But people are loving it.
Right, and I did see, I did see it. The Schubert's got Doubtfire and Les Mis.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hit that as well. But oh my God! So to wrap it up, what could you tell people? What's the push? I mean, obviously, I'm a big proponent of theater. What do you tell people about the Bushnell and theater and the importance of it, and how to what's your elevator pitch?
Sure. What I would say, especially to Greater Hartford too, that we are very lucky in terms of the number of arts institutions that we have in the area. So it's important that we all support them and engage. I think for a smaller city to have, Theater Works, Hartford Stage, the Bushnell, Heartbeat Theater Ensemble, Park Road Playhouse.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible what we
so many
have.
options.
It's such riches
and quality
right. too. So we're really lucky. And in terms of the Bushnell, we're so grateful for our long-term patrons. We have subscribers that have been with us for decades, donors and subscribers and patrons who tell us stories about, graduating on our stage in the 40s or the 50s.
They're still there.
That they've performed on our stages in their local dance troupe, or we have, kids who went to high school in the area and now are performing in the Broadway tours and traveling across the country. So I love hearing those stories, and it's just a reminder of what the Bushnell is in terms of the role it plays in our history and in our community. And I think it's a good reminder for people. It's not just a theater. It plays a large role in the rich history of our community.
Wonderful. Well, listen, I tell everybody, get tickets, bring your family. The arts, again, separates us from the apes. It's so enriching. Your kids will love it. And it's better than being on a tablet. Let them see some live theater. And certainly, if you like it, get a subscription. It's more affordable than you think. They really give you great pricing if you pay up front. And it's really, I think it breaks down to sometimes $50 a ticket or something, which is, for a Broadway show, is ridiculously affordable. So thank you so much, Patrick. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.